Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to cover the Tanarian army. We will be covering the army, its vehicles, its later history, and its geography. Please stay tuned later for announcements of upcoming content for this channel, and of course what we'll be happening next week. Now let's move on to the Tanarian army. Alright guys, so here we have the Tanarian army. The Tanarian army consists of 975 soldiers and 38 vehicles, but right now we are covering only the army. So without further ado, let's break down the positions. So here we have our three versions of ground soldiers that are like literally on the ground on position mode. So we have the first version of a sniper here. The first saboteur position here as like a sabotage unit, armed with a T-55 submachine gun. The sniper is armed with a T-22, and this is the modern sniper armed with a T-24, the newest form of rifle. Two versions of battlefield medics / scouts. We have two versions of kneeling riflemen, one armed with the same rifle as the sniper, the T-22. Another one armed with the T-36 with a grenade launcher as well. We have four different versions of machine gunners. We have a light machine gunner known as the T-46, the medium machine gunner T-50. Then we have 30 cal, which is the T-51, and then the 30 cal, the T-51, the 50 cal, the T-57. And we also have two versions of mortars. We have one standing up and one kneeling. We have two different types of bazookamen. We have the first original bazookaman, and then the newest one. The original was the T-06, and then the newest one is T-10. Then we have two versions of Stingers, which we have the T-7 and then the T-11. Then we have four different types of grenadiers. We're all right here, all from different eras and poses. Then we have the submachine gunners, the T-37 and the T-34. T-34 was the original, T-37 is the newest one. Then we have the riflemen. We have the oldest version of the rifle, which would be the T-15. Then we have the T-16, armed by this soldier. Then we got the T-18 and 19 rifles here, owned by these two. This is a semi-automatic rifle this gentleman's using, so this is the T-26. This is a light machine gunner assault guy, and the rifle he's using is the T-34. We have a flamethrower, a banner carrier here, a mine detector, a message runner, a signalman, ammo carrier, a charger / ambusher, base radio, battlefield radio, naval radio, and Air Force radio. We also have four different versions of guards. We have base guards, checkpoint guards, sultan guards, and recruit guards. Three different types of spotters. And then now we're getting on to the officers. So the officers, we have major, we have a major, we have lieutenant, we have colonel, we have the general, no, major, no, we have brigadier, brigadier major, brigadier general, colonel, lieutenant, tank commander, base, naval admiral, Air Force commander, colonel, general, first general, and then the main leader himself, Suleiman Mustafa, the Sultan of Tanarian and its empire. So that's all the positions of the Tanarian army and weapons. Now we're going to move on to the vehicles. Okay guys, so I have grabbed one of each of the Tanarian vehicles because I don't have enough space to set up the whole entire vehicle collection on this table. So we're just going to go ahead and break it down. So we have here a Tanarian missile truck that is used to besiege or attack enemy bases from a long distance. This is one of many of the vehicles. We have two versions of a Jeep, military Jeep. So we have one armed with a gunner on the top, and this one is the light version used for maneuvering and flanking on enemies. Well, this one is the bigger one and heavier one. Was the original one, and older one. They still use it in their military force, but it's now mostly used for like patrols and or surveillance missions. The next vehicle we have is the Tanarian supply car. Now, basically, it's a regular car, but on the back, it has a hole to where it can connect to a trailer, and the trailer can be carrying like ammo and medical supplies and or food for the soldiers on the field. So this is what this vehicle is. Next, we have the anti-aircraft tank known as the T-57. No, the T-67. It is one of the first models of anti-aircraft tanks used for their defenses from air raids and or bombings from enemy forces. So this is what this tank right here in particular is used for. Next we have a helicopter, and they have multiple of these helicopters, but the purpose for these helicopters is mostly for air surveillance, scouting, and overseeing the battlefields as well, and sometimes carrying and transporting troops to their destined locations for infiltration and or covering their allied forces. Next, we have a Tanarian bomber / fighter known as the T-52. This plane can shoot machine guns and or shoot bullets from two machine guns angled on each wing, or drops bombs underneath the carriage right there. So it's a really cool little plane that the Tanarians have made for themselves. Next, we have the APC right here. It did have a machine gun on it, but I lost it. But this is one of the machine guns. This is an APC vehicle, mostly for patrols and or assaults on enemy strongholds. So it's pretty cool. Next, we have a missile tank that shoots missiles, and you must remember this particular tank from one of my older AliExpress videos. So this is where I got this this particular vehicle from, but I figure it would be a cool feature to add for the Tanarians. The next one we have is one of the many versions of a light tank. Oh wait, no, this is not it. Sorry, this is it. So this is a light tank here. It's because the reason why it's called a light tank is because it uses wheels instead of like tracks like tractors would use. So this is the first version of the light tank, and it's mostly used for assaults and or patrols as well. But then we have the medium heavy tank here that is used for assaults on heavy enemy positions and or advancing / charging maneuvers, which is pretty cool. And then we have the heaviest tank, which is basically the M1 Abrams. But in my version, I'll call these the T-34. Not T-34, the T-24, which is basically, T stands for Sultan. So T stands for Tanarian, and this is what the tank is. It's a 34 armored reflective tank. And then we have the biggest one, the Scorpion. This is Tanarian's heaviest armored tank, and basically uses a big super weapon. But they haven't really used this in a while, and the only reason they would use it is if they were planning on world conquering or dominating other countries. But the tank, as of now, is decommissioned in military service due to its overpowering ammunition and the cost of sending ammunition to be made. So now let's just move on to geography.